Recently, Motormatters had the Landwind 5 medium-sized SUV on test. And one of the points that I felt about the vehicle, and not only the Landwind, because I feel it about most SUVs, is the fact that I personally think an automatic gearbox is way more suited to most SUVs. Well, take a look what Landwind have done now. Because virtually immediately after my test, they announced the release and the launch of the automatic version of the Landwind 5. Same 2-litre petrol turbo 4-cylinder engine, putting out 140 kilowatts, but the difference being in the gearbox. And what Landwind have done, and according to JMC Landwind, it's the first front-wheel drive SUV with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. I repeat, an 8-speed normal torque converter automatic gearbox in, as I mentioned, the same body. But what they did as well at the time was they launched 2 automatic versions. The standard in the exact same spec as our last test vehicle, and you can look back at that one, and this one over here, which they name very simply the Flagship. And that has quite a few differences and changes. What we'll do is, most of the changes are in the inside, so we'll take a look inside the vehicle. Moving inside the Landwind 5 Flagship version, let's start with similarities first, and you'll see it's got the same pretty clear dashboard as in the base or luxury versions, as they call them, in the more basic versions. A very clear instrumentation, a shorter test this time, just over 200 kilometers done. There are some interesting extra little buttons and switches over here that I'm trying to show you. There is a switch over there to switch off DSC, Dynamic Skid Control, if you want. And down below on the steering column down over there, you'll see you do have cruise control as well. Electric windows and door locks on the door, and you'll see it does have the plastic with the piano key, as they call, gloss finish over there as well, so very neat. Obviously you come to the dash itself and you'll see, yes, a lot of hard plastics, absolutely admitted, but there's lots of reasons. You come down to the infotainment system, which absolutely a generation or so behind, lots of keys, etc., but acceptable again. Down to your air conditioning system, works very effectively, works very well. And then down over here, 2 interesting buttons that are added. The one is a setting to allow for snow or ice on the roads, and a sport setting that does give a minor alteration to the gearing and the gear ratios, etc. on the transmission. Talking transmission, here you are, your 8-speed automatic gearbox. And you can see your standard style gearbox. Simply pull in the knob and pull it down, and you shift up and down like that. A little bit sticky, but it is a very new vehicle. You do have park distance control at the rear, and interesting, I thought, it cuts the sound on the sound system at the same time when you go into reverse gear. You do have a Tiptronic type effect as well if you want to use it. Be perfectly honest, I never bothered using that during the test period. Now let's talk the gearbox for a moment or two, that 8-speed gearbox. It's very smooth, very effective, but the one, if you want my complaint on it, it did tend to hunt while you're on the freeways at around freeway cruising speeds. You hit the slightest little hill or incline and it was hunting between 7th and 8th gears, which just a little bit irritating, but I think it's more a function of the gearing and the ratios at that cruising speed. So something you have to live with. But I must say that having criticized the manual previously, certainly I found it much more relaxed, much more pleasant cruising around in this automatic version. And as I said, the 8-speed, purely the hunting, but the shifts very, very smooth. Inside the vehicle, the other extras you do get on the 8-speed version and on the Flagship version in particular is you get leather trim all round. Very neat with red stitching, lots of space in the back seat. We covered that last time round. You do get standard a nice sunroof as well, with the blind that opens and closes on top of it. So you get that with it. You get 2 extra airbags with the Flagship version as well, so you're up to 4 airbags. And something that I think is quite a nice touch as well is you get electric adjustment on both drivers and passenger seat. So it's not just the driver's seat that gets the electric adjustment, but both of them. You even get electric folding mirrors simply at the press of a button, and your mirrors can fold in as well. Now I'm pointing out features like this for the very simple reason that it's all about price, isn't it? Because, believe it or not, this flagship version with all the tech I've been discussing comes in at 280,000 Rand. I repeat, 280,000 Rand. It comes with a 5-year service plan. It comes with a 5-year warranty. So you are covered by those. Landwind, the one thing I do not understand, quite honestly, is where's the marketing to match this vehicle? Because you are certainly offering value for money that is unmatched on the South African market. For a vehicle of this size, with this space, with these trimmings and finishes, and the tech of that 8-speed box, nothing else comes close. So if you're a buyer looking for a medium family SUV and you're on a tight budget, well, I think you need to take a look. But of course, the choice is always up to you. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.